Hey, welcome back to Grandma Jane's World. And guess what? Today is a snow day. Yeah, we got over 6 inches of snow here in northern Iowa. And I don't have to sub today. I'm so happy because it's like so many other things I want to get caught up at home with, and want to make something to film for you guys too. So anyway, I'm in my Vikings shirt, but my poor Vikings. But next year, there's always next year. Isn't there? Always. There's always hope, and I love them. So anyway, here we go. I'm gonna make a Coca-Cola chocolate cake. Now this reminds me of when I used to be home with my kids on a school day, when my kids were still home. And the neighbor kids would come over and make chocolate chip cookies, and they'd play games all day, and it was great. And then the second day maybe was another snow day, and it was okay, but not as exciting. And then maybe the third day was another snow day, and it was like, okay, we're all ready to go back to work and schools, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to enjoy today and get this done. And for some reason, this Coca-Cola cake, I'm like brain dead today or something, but it's like, I don't know, it's when you melt and cook stuff on the stove and then put it in dry ingredients and do that kind of, all that kind of stuff that I'm like, am I doing it right? You know, am I getting it right? Am I getting the right ones mixed? Well, I'm going to give it a try. All right. I did make this one other time and I screwed up the frosting. So this time I'm going to hope not to do anything wrong. Okay. I'm going to try. So anyway, what you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Okay. And you're going to actually bake your cake for 30 to 35 minutes. And then the first thing I'm going to do is put some dry ingredients together. So it's going to be 2 cups of flour. I'm going to take you down to the pan more here. Okay. And 2 cups of sugar. Okay. And then we're going to put in a few other dry ingredients, like a teaspoon of soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon cinnamon, which I mixed up somewhere. Where did I put it? Here it is. Okay. And they're just gonna whisk that all together. Okay. Don't need that stuff anymore. Gonna whisk that together. And then we have to go to the stove top and put, okay, I've already melted. You can put a cup of cube butter in a pan, but I just went ahead and melted it. I'm gonna move this over to there. If I can. Because this does have to cook. All right, so there it is. And then then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of Coca-Cola and a 1/4 cup also of cocoa. Okay, and I am going to turn the heat on because we do want this to kind of come to a boil. Get you a little closer here if I can. So you can look at it more than you can me. Okay. Oh, it just seems so nice to be able to get up, and it was like winter wonderland out, and I don't have to travel anymore. And I do pray for people that do, because it wasn't very nice this morning as far as the roads weren't cleared off or anything. And my neighbor and my garbage the plow had come by and knocked them over the bins, trash bins. So I went out and thank goodness I straightened those, and they ended up taking them and coming by. So I was really glad I took care of that. And anyway, I'm always up by 4 or 5. I don't know how come, but I go to bed kind of early in the winter, so I get enough sleep by then, I guess. And I can do that kind of stuff. But I love it because my Christmas lights are still on the deck, and then the snow is piled up about 6 inches or more on the railing. I took a picture of that. I sent it in to Sean McAday at KIMT, but I don't know if he used it or not, but it was kind of fun to do because he said, send them in, measure, you know, and do all this kind of stuff. So I did. So we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna let this keep heating up, and they said till it's like starts to boil. All right, or almost boil, or whatever. And I figured this sounds really kind of good to make today. And I can try a piece, but then I can give it away. So I've got neighbors I can give it to, friends, and I can take to school. And I have a grandson too that likes this kind of stuff. So he's gonna, if he's working tonight, I'll give him a piece too. Always got to feed those grandkids, you know. That's what grandmas are good for. So we get that heating up here pretty quick. And then we'll have to add some buttermilk, and I just made my own buttermilk. I put a half a cup of milk in a container and like a tablespoon of vinegar, and it curdles up the same way as buttermilk, and it works just as good. I've tried it and everything, it's just as good. Although I still do, if I know I'm going to be making certain things, I might still buy it. But you got to use it up so fast because it doesn't stay good very long. So as soon as this can heat up here, I'll turn it up a little more. We'll get going on the rest of it. I know there's 2 eggs that go into this yet. And then even the frosting has Coca-Cola in it too. And powdered sugar. And it's, I don't know, I've heard a lot of bragging up on this cake. I don't know if you're familiar with Texas sheet cake, but it's similar to that. I do have a recipe in a cookbook for that, so I'll have to try that sometime too. I can hear it, and it's starting to kind of want to boil. So I'm going to take it off the heat, and then we'll come back over to the other table. And hopefully, I'm just so coordinated with this, aren't I? You'd think with time I'd become more coordinated, but that doesn't always happen. Okay, so I've got that all together, and then I'm going to add that in to the dry ingredients. Okay. Yeah, it really is starting to smell pretty chocolatey and good. So, just pour a wooden spoon here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my buttermilk to that. The whisk is getting all plugged up, so I'm going to use my wooden spoon on it. Okay, once that's cooled down a little bit, then I'll add my eggs in. You don't ever add your eggs in anything hot, or you're going to have scrambled eggs in there. And you don't want to do that. Okay, so, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. And this recipe also called, like, there's a Tim McGraw Coca-Cola cake, and it calls for 2 cups marshmallows, but you know what? I'm going to leave them out. I just don't know. I'll try it sometime with that and see if I like it. I think I'd like it without them instead. So I'm going to try it without first. And just keep mixing this up. And we'll add the eggs in. And that's pretty much everything in the cake, for the cake. So once this is all blended and in a pan, I've got my greased pan here, 9 by 12 I believe I've got here. It'll be a little thicker. All this is mixed up, so then we can get it ready to bake. Put it in the oven and bake it for 30 to 35 minutes. Until the toothpick comes out clean. It looks pretty good. Smells good. And then I'll show you how to make the frosting for it. Some of that flour at the bottom there. I didn't use my KitchenAid today. I thought I'd just do it this way. Sometimes my arms need a good workout mixing. There you go. Just kind of smooth that out. It's all greased and ready to go. Okay, then I'm going to pop it in the oven, and when I get it out, I'll be back to show you how to make the frosting. See you in a bit. Bye. Hey, welcome back to Grandma Jane's World, where I am going to frost the Coca-Cola cake. And I've got a 1.5 cups of Coke, reducing to about 1/2 of that amount in a saucepan. And I have a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla in there. Now that it's boiling and it's reduced, I'm going to put in a 1/2 cup of chunk, or what do you call it, you know, chopped up butter, diced, whatever you call it. I'm really good with words today. It's that day off of school and I don't have to use my brain, I guess. So anyway, then I have a 1/4 cup of cocoa I'm going to add to that, okay? And then I'm going to shut the heat off and mix this all up until it's all blended really good. And when that's done, I'm going to add 4 cups of powdered sugar. And the cake just came out of the oven, so it's nice and hot, and that's when it's a good time to frost it. Now, one recipe said to poke holes in the cake and then put your frosting on, and the frosting goes into those holes, but I don't think with this type of frosting I'm going to do that. When you do a poke cake, yeah, I can see that, because that Jell-O is more liquidy, watery, you know, that type. But this, I just kind of think I want the cake separate from the frosting, even though it's on top, but I don't want it poked into there, you know, if you get that. I don't know, but I'm going to try it and not do it, not poke holes. That would make it just super gooey, I think. So we'll see how we like it this way. I'm adding the 4 cups of powdered sugar. And getting that all blended into there. Might have to add just a little bit more. Grab my powdered sugar out of here quick. So I hope everybody's having a great day wherever you are. I went out to Arizona for a week. I helped a friend drive out there so she could have her vehicle out there. And the weather wasn't too nice. It was actually the desert when it's cold. It is cold. And we were freezing. But actually it felt warmer to come back here, if that makes any sense. But when the desert's rainy and it's 50, it's cold. And I really liked the people I met out there. We played cards every night and had fun, but too cold to golf, and went and visited some people that are snowbirds out there, and that was really fun too. Enjoyed seeing where one of the couples live in Mesa. Beautiful area. And also got to see a cousin of mine, or my mom's first cousin, so makes him my second cousin, I suppose, or first cousin twice removed, or whatever you call it. But anyway, they have a beautiful place there for the winter too, and they're from South Dakota. And he's a big rancher, and for him, it's the best thing for him to get away from the ranch in the winter and kind of rest, because he's a real hard worker. So yeah, it was great to catch up with them and actually see some family and friends, meet new friends. It was fun. I have to admit though, if I'm going to go somewhere in the winter, it's probably going to be tropical with a beach. That's really my main desire. I know some people that went to Mexico for Christmas, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds really good. Really warm, floating on a pool, you know, having family there, and not having all the stress of Christmas and travels and gifts and meals. It'd just be a blast. I think it's a great idea. So I think it's something, and they're from Canada, so I think that might be something they do every year. But otherwise, I'll just take my lakes around here and enjoy them in the summer and do that type of thing, because I love my lakes to float on. That's my thing. And I like it up here where they don't have water moccasins and all that kind of stuff. You know, I am not into those kind of serpents and all that stuff. But anyway, you find out as you get older what you like and what you don't like. And there's just some things that I found out that I really don't mind winter anymore, as long as I don't have to travel. I don't mind it. In fact, I kind of endear it. I've endeared it to where I think it's beautiful to look out and see the snow, and I liked it. I was looking forward to it, where I never used to. So, what a difference that makes, you know. Well, anyway, you just wait until this cools down a little bit, and then put it onto your cake, and then I'll make the thumbnail picture a picture of the final product. And you guys just have a great day out there. If you have snow, enjoy it. Go sledding or do something fun, you know. And we just take a walk before it gets too cold. And I'll see you again soon on Grandma Jane's World. I love you. Bye.